Going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Ben, you're needed.
Our historic first ever game.
Who's this joker?
He's no joker, Ben.
Keep those bets coming in, people.
Bet?
Now for a brand new contestant coming soon to a screen.
Ed Westwick really has come a long way in his years since he left Gossip Girl. Remember that TV show like way back in the day? It was like based at teenagers. It was on the CW. Well, Ed Westwick was kind of like the badass sort of broody bad boy, love interest. But as of late, he's really been tearing a path in the independent scene and really like making some quality movies, putting in quality performances. A little while ago, there was a war movie that I watched. I think I reviewed it on the channel. It had Sam Gittins in it as well. Like, really quite enjoyed that. And he is pretty badass in it. It's good to see him really shuffling all that off and really kind of pushing his craft forward and taking serious as a credible actor. Dark Game is no different. He's really the linchpin of the film. He's holding it up on his shoulders, and he's doing a bloody good job. He's playing that lead role with aplomb and kind of making sure that we know this is his movie. And then you add to that the character of the presenter, who we'll talk a little bit more about in a second, and you've got the makings of a damn good kind of dark web psychological thriller. It's a Howard J. Ford movie. I reviewed his movie The Ledge, which I really enjoyed. Adventure Boys, which was another one I enjoyed. And way back in the day, Never Let Go, which had Angela Dixon in. Big fan of what Howard does. So going into this movie was like, yeah, let's see what he's doing now. He always seems to do something different. He's done the thriller Hanging on a Cliff. He's done the kids on motorbikes kind of thing. And he's done, the female version of Taken with Angela Dixon in Nairobi or wherever it was. And Dark Game was no exception to his catalogue. So let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about it. But of course, my name is Kevin Halden. This is Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all the news, reviews, and exclusive interviews. I like to talk about everything from the big budget to the low budget to the no budget, with a special keen interest in the lower end of the scale. And that's what we're talking about. We're doing Dark Game. I will do this the way I always do this. I will talk about the plot of the movie. I'll move into the cast and crew of the movie, a little bit about what I did and didn't like about this movie, and then I will end with my Nerdly Out Loud rating. That's my rating, not the rating of Nerdly. We have hundreds and hundreds of people over there who write awesome stuff, and we love all of them. So please do check out the website, nerdly.co.uk, because they're all over there as well, and there's loads of other reviews for movies that you might not be fully aware of. So Dark Game is the story of Detective Ben. Now, this is Ed Westwick. He's kind of like this hotshot, amazing detective who always gets his man. Or woman, some women can be badasses as well. But he always gets the person he's after. He always catches the criminal, and he has a reputation for doing so. The latest case that he's just been on, he's sort of like a little bit worn out from this one. So he's planning on taking some time out. And his boss is like, dude, go home, see your wife and kids. It's all good. We've got this for a couple of days. You know what I mean? So he's thinking about doing that. He's about to do that. And then this new case crops up. And it's on the dark web, the super seedy dark web, where this guy, only known as the presenter, is basically live streaming murders, like horrific murders. And he's got like this chat bar at the side where people can say who they want to die and how they want them to die. They have to play like Russian roulette games, Deer Hunter style, to like figure out who's going to die. And then it's like whatever the thing is. Not exactly the most original concept. I mean, let's be honest. Kill people in the Big Brother house, and that's basically what we're doing here. And a lot of careers have died in the Big Brother house. Apples and oranges. So that's it. He can't take time off. He's got to be on this case. He's got to catch this guy, because we can't have people being killed live on the internet. It's just not good for politics, is it? So let's sort that out. And I'm not going to say much else about the plot, because there's not really much more I can say other than it's pretty damn gruesome. We get some pretty gnarly kills, and I really liked the presenter. Let's talk about our cast and crew. And kicking off, Ed Westwick, he's brilliant. Like, he's the leading man. He's very strong, very kind of like stoic, the old school kind of detective kind of vibe. Because this movie does play a little bit like a noir, like a modern day noir, but a noir nonetheless. It kind of plays that way, which I liked, and it leads into him being that kind of detective who, you know, he's not going to take any shit. He's always going to get his man, and he's going to get it done. You juxtapose that with the absolute chaos of Andrew P. Stephen, who plays the presenter. We don't see his face. We don't see much of him. We get to hear him, and he emotes like a son of a bitch. He is so good in this role and really turns it up to 11 when needed. And I don't mean turns it up to 11 as in it goes to the other side and it becomes absurdist surrealism. I mean, like, he just turns his performance right up to 11. He really does embody that whole thing about everything that's wrong and evil about the internet. He is the personification of Twitter. Yeah, that's a grim thought, isn't it? Personification of Twitter. He captures all the people on the outside, brings them into this world, and they have to play his games. And if they don't play his games, they're going to die anyway. So you just play the game, and chances are you're going to die. But you'll die live, and people will pay good money for it, and you die sort of famous. I'm not saying that's a good thing. It is a bad thing. And Ed Westwick's going to catch him anyway. Hopefully. We don't know. He might. No spoilers yet. And I also do want to mention a little side character called Larch, played by Rick Yale. I think this guy's a brilliant actor. Like, he comes in for a minute, like he's there for a cup of coffee, but he's brilliant in the role and he plays it very well. He's sort of like the cyber criminal that they bring in to try and help the tech guy find out the IP address and find out where it's being streamed from and all that good stuff. He's that character, but he's just like really sinister, like proper dickbag, and I liked him. I really liked him. I don't know the actor. I've not seen him in much. If anything, I'm not. So what I did and didn't like about the movie, I think one of the only things that I really wasn't that keen on, the ending, the final like 10 to 15 minutes. It could have been a little bit longer. I think there's another 10 minutes in this movie for sure. And I know that's like a bit of a weird criticism to say that it wasn't long enough, but I think that's also a good sign from the director. But when we start coming to the end of the movie, we just kind of wrap it up. There's no real sort of like suspense to that ending. Whereas the rest of the movie is like a slow build suspense. And it's sort of building its way to getting to this point, and then it goes, and we're done. And that, for me, is a little bit of a problem because it's a little bit jarring. On the whole, the murders are excellent. The presenter's a great character, and I would love to see him do some more stuff. Like, even if we just have this character, but like in other movies, just cropping up. You know how you have that thing where sometimes you think about, I wonder what that guy's doing. Like, characters in movies that are basically side characters, but they're so good and they're so charismatic that you kind of think, I wonder what he does in his 9 to 5. I wonder where that character is when he's off screen. Like, you think about that. And that's kind of like what I want. Like, put this character in other situations and let us see how this guy flies. Because I kind of really liked him. I was vibing on him, and that's what you kind of love. That's when you know you've got a good villain in your movie. We may as well just jump onto my final Nerdly Out Loud rating. And of course, that's my rating. Go over to the website. I'm pretty sure other people have reviewed this movie. Check out what they had to say about it. Let me know in the comments down below if I'm wrong, if I'm right. Let me know what you think of the movie as well. But for me, I'm going to put a 3 on this movie. It's a solid as hell 3. It really is. But I think there's room here. There's a little bit more room for this director to really propel himself, to really break out into something different. I don't know. Like, do we want another one of these movies? I don't know if that's necessarily what we want. But let's deal with this universe a little bit more. I think we have a detective here who's quite good, and we could move on with that kind of story. I think there's a lot of places that we could go. Maybe that's not what Howard J. Ford wants to do as a director. Maybe he wants to move on to his next thing. I will say this is another genre that he's ticked off and smashed. He ticked all my boxes for this movie. I just have little nitpicks that, you know, really kind of bog it down for me a little bit. And one of the main thing is the fact that it just rapidly goes like really quick at the end. One of the other things is our main lead female, who is one of the captured prisoners. I don't know. I was never buying her being in this situation. I wasn't buying her fear. I just wasn't buying it. It's not the sign of a bad actress or anything like that. She's doing a good enough job. She is very good. I just wasn't buying her in this situation she wasn't selling it to me. So yeah, that's maybe like two things that I would bog it down with. But to be honest, you absolutely should check out Dark Game. Ed Westwick's performance is wonderful. Andrew P. Stephen as the presenter is absolutely brilliant. He smashes that role. If anything, check it out for his performance. I think people will really, really get a kick out of this. If this is the sort of film you like, you're really going to like it. It's just, it does everything it's supposed to do. Is it massively original? Not really. We've been there and done that. But it does everything it's supposed to do, and it does it well. And that's one of the things I love about Howard J. Ford. Not my favorite Ford movie, but it's up there. So yeah, I'm going to leave it with that. I'm giving this movie a 3 out of 5. Please do check it out. My name has been Kevin Haldon. This is Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for the news, reviews, and exclusive interviews. Go over to the website, nerdly.co.uk. Check out all the reviews we've got over there. We review everything we can get our hands on. We love movies and everything like that. So we review them, and that's where it's all at. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, ding that notification bell. Watch the videos above. There shouldn't be any because this should be the new video. Watch the videos below. There should be loads because I've done loads. And yeah, 3 out of 5. Dark Game, worth your time. Absolutely worth your time. Nice quick watch.